Welcome to USTC360. I'm Ginger Chang. Our feature today focuses on bilingual education in America. Simply put, bilingual education means the use of any two languages in school by the faculty and students. We have Joy Zhao, a bilingual teacher from New Jersey. Welcome, Joy. I'm curious to first find out, why did you become a bilingual teacher?
I love being a teacher. It's my passion and it's in my blood. My mother was a kindergarten teacher for over 30 years.
Oh, wow.
I have a master's degree in elementary education, and now my daughter wants to be a teacher too.
Oh, that's so cute. So she wants to continue the family line of teaching. Okay. Well, on that note, let's go meet Ava and Ella, whose parents believe Tzu Chi's Great Love preschool and elementary school has provided the well-rounded and perfect educational environment for their daughters.
When we started our family, we realized that since both of us work, we needed to find childcare, and we only wanted to do childcare nearby. So we went and looked at all the preschools within walking distance, and there were 3. We were so impressed with the facility. You can just feel how much the teachers love the children. And when we walked into Tzu Chi, the kids would run up and hug the teachers, and it was such a close family, we really wanted our girls there. And then when we found out that it wasn't really religious-based, it was more about building character and education and compassion, along with what a long day it was and a lot of curriculum, we really wanted Ava to go there.
Ava's Chinese name is Huizi. I taught her 2 years ago. She is the elder sister, and her younger sister Ella is now in our class. Her Chinese name is Aijia. The two of them have always been interested in Mandarin, especially Huizi. She's a very lively girl who was never shy to speak Mandarin. Sometimes she doesn't think before she speaks. She also likes sign language songs a lot. So when we held sign language demos in class, everyone would be interested. Ava also liked to sing Mandarin songs to herself during art class, which, by the way, influenced her younger sister to do the same too. In our class of international students, Huizi was always the most willing to talk.
A funny story, the girls and I were in a bathroom in LAX, and in the men's room, they were in a stall, the two of them, and they were speaking in Chinese. They were singing in Chinese and speaking in Chinese, and I was holding on to the stall door, and a Chinese man walked in and to use the restroom, and he was at the sink washing his hands, and he was looking at me and listening to the girls inside the stall speak to each other, and he said, "Are those your girls?" And I said, "Yeah." And he says, "They speak Chinese better than my kids do."
我跟我的妹妹要说我要打你的屁股。
What did Ava say? Can you tell me?
What's a piku?
Butt.
You said something about a butt?
Yes.
Okay, what did you say about a butt? What potty talk did you use?
Were you talking potty talk?
Yes.
You used potty talk? What was it? What did you say?
We're gonna spank each other.
You knew what she said? You knew that was spanking booty? That's why you didn't tell Daddy what it was.
The older they're getting now, they're starting to realize that they can talk between themselves, and we won't know what they're talking about. So, but no, it's something I'm proud of. I'm really proud of.
I had Ava in my kindergarten classroom 2 years ago, and I currently have her sister Ella in my classroom. They're both very excited to be here. The family loves our school. They love participating. Anytime we need help, they're there. And the girls really seem to enjoy the Chinese language. Ava couldn't wait for it to be a Chinese class. And she would always ask me, who's teaching first today? And she wanted to know what songs we're singing. They always want to know ahead of time what we're doing. And they really look forward to coming to school. They're very happy when they come to school, and always give me a hug and the Chinese teacher a hug.
We mainly use Tzu Chi's humanistic culture to lead the language class. Apart from the humanistic culture lessons, we also have bilingual education. In this curriculum, the materials are in English. For example, let's say the theme of this month is animals. When it is Mandarin language time in class, our teachers don't use the English material. Instead, she tells stories in Chinese. So we allow the students to explore the two different languages based on the same theme. To enhance their learning process, we have both English and Chinese teachers in the course. The children can be exposed to both languages and constantly be nurtured in a bilingual environment. We are not teaching translation here. We don't tell the kids which Chinese word corresponds to which English word because this is useless. We want to give them an environment that is purely in the Chinese language. Then, when the children are exposed to the language consistently, they will be used to speaking Chinese. Some children don't know that they have to speak Chinese during the Chinese lesson, and sometimes they don't know how to speak it. But we have many ways to help them. For example, only half of our students speak Chinese at home. So if you really can't speak it, you can still speak English, but you have other options. For example, you can ask your teacher or classmates for help. Then they can slowly build their Chinese language skills. So this year, we see a huge improvement in Ava. Last year, she needed my help to do her homework, and now she can do it all on her own. Ava has become independent and she speaks only Chinese in class.
What's a coffee?
Is it what's a coffee? She's doing really well. She's already at 6. She's far exceeded our expectations. She loves her classmates. She loves her teachers. She always, whenever they play school, she always gets to be the teacher. She always, picks a teacher to be. Derek and I are generally away from home from about 7:30 in the morning till about 6:30 at night. The kids are going to be somewhere other than us. So it's great that they're somewhere that they feel loved, that they love, and they're learning extra skills rather than learning playground skills, which we can do that some other time. The American way, they don't extend the school day. So an American school day is 8:30 to 2 o'clock or 2:30. When they have what they call an immersion school, where they're learning 2 languages, they don't lengthen the day. So I don't know what is being given up, because you can't, if it takes 8:30 to 2 to learn English in 1st or 2nd grade, and now they're going to learn Chinese in the same period, are they not learning as much English? What's being given up? But at Tzu Chi, the day is so long and it's so balanced between half and half that she's consistently moving forward in English, math, science, as well as Chinese, because they're keeping them in there that extra day. And if there's one thing that my kids are very good at, it's sitting still.
One of the primary differences between our school at Tzu Chi and other bilingual programs is twofold. One, we provide instruction in our character education program, and that's deeply woven into all of our curriculum, both English and Chinese. So while the child is learning the new language, they're learning it around subject matter that is somewhat familiar. So we talk about love and gratitude and compassion and giving, things like that. And they can access those subject matters because the languaging is a little bit more simplistic. So that's one of the major differences. Another difference is that we have experts in both Chinese and English working with our students. We want to have native speakers in both languages. We want to have really competent, all credentialed teachers at our school, and we want them to be able to work with the students from their own love of their native tongue.
Once a week, we have a 2-hour Chinese lesson. 1 hour is language, and the other hour focuses on humanistic culture and oral practice. Altogether, we have 2 hours of class every day. Here, Chinese is not the students' first language, so we have to use different ways to attract the children. For instance, we use note cards and games, activities which help the children realize that Chinese lessons are interesting. Sometimes we tell them to write on the blackboard, sometimes we play games. We use these methods to let them learn Chinese through games, so everyone is happy and engaged.
She used to cry when she went to the first preschool, and then she never cried again. And now it's been 3 years, and she's in the elementary school. She's in 1st grade. And now she's angry that the school isn't 7 days a week. There were minimum days for parent-teacher conferences. And she said, no, I'm just gonna stay. She really doesn't like to miss any school. She doesn't like to be sick. She really enjoys the elementary school. And she has a journal she writes at school, and when Derek and I looked at it at parent-teacher night, I said, I love Tzu Chi, and I love going to school because it's like a giant play date with learning.
The New York Times reports other benefits of the regular use of two languages include delaying the onset of Alzheimer's disease and also improves problem-solving skills in children. Joy, can you tell us why else is learning Chinese helpful?
In recent years, I've come in contact with many non-Chinese speaking parents who send their children to study Chinese, and I always ask them this question, why Chinese? Many parents recognize that China is quickly emerging as an important country, and they believe fluency in this language will open opportunities. Other parents also cite the fact that Mandarin Chinese is the most widely spoken language in the world. And I also want to point out that it's one of the most difficult languages to learn for native English speakers. Therefore, it's important to start young.
So besides cognitive advantages, Tzu Chi's curriculum teaches the Chinese language and life education. Why is this beneficial for a child?
Right. Dharma Master Ching Yan said, education is about purifying the mind, so students know right from wrong. When done right, education brings peace and hope to the society. And it's central to the mission of education at Tzu Chi to guide students to be kind, compassionate, giving, and courteous. These are considered to be universal values, but unfortunately often missing in mainstream education system.
You have a very good point. And it seems like the universal values taught in Tzu Chi's curriculum is paying off because this past Christmas, the children were all about the spirit of giving to help the less fortunate.
In a young child's view of the world, they have more love in their hearts when they meet caring and kind people. So when they grow up, they believe that there are more good people in the world. They are nicer to people. If you had a less privileged childhood, you start to doubt those around you and even the world when you grow up. You might need more time to understand the meaning of benevolence. So in these 3 years, I hope these kids can grow up in a loving environment. Once they receive love and care from the teachers and their parents, a seed of love is planted in their head, and in these 3 years, they will build a solid foundation of gratitude and appreciation. Maybe when they grow up, the seed will sprout and they will give back to the people around them.
When we design the bilingual course or the humanistic course, we emphasize on its systematic nature. Every month, the theme in the humanistic culture class is consistent. For example, we teach respect in September, responsibility in October, gratitude and appreciation in November, giving in December. We base these lessons on Master Zhen Yan's teachings. Her teachings are models for us when we design the lessons. For example, for respect, the Master taught us to respect all living beings. What does she mean with all living beings? So we define and categorize them before teaching it to the students. For example, we teach the second graders about respecting the plants. We can teach the first graders about respecting animals or respect between people. We teach them based on the suitability for each grade level.
In my opinion, because of the Tzu Chi Humanistic Culture program, the teachers have a more proactive role. There is a reason behind every action. Why do they greet the volunteers and their teachers? This is to express their gratitude for the care and love they have for you. So in Tzu Chi's humanistic cultural education, there are always reasons for them. In this period, they will remember how their teachers have cared for them. This feeling of being loved will remain.
Every week, the Chinese and English teachers work together to write in a weekly journal for the students to bring home, describing their performance to their parents. If we need help and support from the parents, or if anything interesting happened to their kids, we will share with them. Most of the time, the parents are in a hurry to go to work after dropping their kids off, and they rush here to pick them up after work. Sometimes they don't see the teachers, or we don't have time to talk, so they don't know how their children are doing in school. The weekly journal bridges this communication gap.
I have been driving every day about 30 minutes each way to drop her off here because we don't live very close. Like many of the parents here, they love the school. We come here because we feel that it offers so much opportunity, not just the language itself, but they teach how to be kind and gentle and kind to other people, which is something that you really cannot get easily from
public schools or even some of the private schools.
So we have this for the kids so that they get the opportunity to see all kinds of different animals, but the most important thing is that learn not to be afraid, to overcome their fear, step forward and find things that are unusual in the world and love them for being unusual.
Hi, happy Halloween! I think if more parents knew what we know about Tzu Chi and Tzu Chi's teachings, there would be a lot more enrollment at the school. And that's what I hope. I really hope that community keeps learning more, and eventually the enrollment will rise. Tzu Chi is a great school. It's a great organization, and it makes our small, tight-knit community better community.
We're very committed, and the parents are very close, the kids are very close, and the teachers and the foundation are very close. It's very genuine, the partnership that we all feel in moving all of this forward. And I know that the foundation puts a lot of resources and energy into making it work. So that's important to me, that it's not just send your kid here and give us a check, which is how 90% of other schools are. It's really, let's figure out how to make this work so that it's a balance, because bills have to be paid, but the foundation's willing to put a lot of research and energy into it too. And then what do you expect as a parent? What do your kids expect? And so it can be the best possible mix.
I enjoy volunteering with Tzu Chi. I enjoy hanging out with the teachers and the parents, and there's a lot of neat people there. I feel it's really important to, as a parent, to be involved in my children's school. Parents teach just as much as the teachers teach. You know, they have to work together. And that's why I enjoy spending time with the school and, you know, volunteering what time I can, helping out.
By helping here at school, I make my son very happy and proud too. He's very happy that my mom is here and my mom is helping and she's involved. So, you know, when your child is happy, it makes you happy too. I like what they teach my son. The good value, you know, helping others, taking care about planet. For me, it's like what we teach our son at home. The school is doing the same, so we are going the same path. So that makes me very happy.
Today was our community appreciation lunch, and we had all of the community leaders from all of the cities around us. And the first and second grade performed a couple of holiday songs for them. And it was very gratifying to me to watch them, to see them taking this performance seriously, because it's their chance to give back at the holiday times to the firemen and the policemen and the mayor and the librarian, and to say thank you. And I'm very proud of what they did. I know that they were nervous, but they pulled through, and they did a really great job. I'm very proud of them.
We just received some beautiful gifts and presents from the children at the school for our children at Serenity, from socks to pajamas to baby wipes to clothing, and they're all going to be put to very good use for our program, and we certainly do appreciate it. This has been a blessing for me to receive these gifts.
I think it's very easy for children, no matter where they live, to be very egocentric, to be very centered around just their area. But what Tzu Chi does, by virtue of all of our branches, is it provides an ever-present feeling that they are part of a global system. And I think that over time, what that does is it cultivates in the child the ability to care about people, no matter what they look like, no matter what language they speak or where they come from. That, to me, is the most important thing of what we do.
Yep, we're hiding back, getting ready to get called out.
Whether you're religious, Buddhist or not, the teachings aren't that. They may be Buddhist teachings, but it isn't a strictly Buddhist curriculum. The teachings are to be a better person and to be a better person to other people and to show compassion. The teachings they teach are good, strong, educational foundations for anyone of any religion or any race.
We are just a great fan, and we would love to see the school expand and grow and prosper, and would like many of our friends to have the same opportunity at this school.
Welcome back. So Joy, what are some obstacles you've come across teaching Chinese to English speakers?
For American-born Chinese students, I think one of the biggest challenges is motivation. For non-Chinese speaking students is to attain true proficiency.
Then how do you stay motivated?
It's never been an issue. Low times usually come from outside of classroom, budgetary constraints, lack of resources, etc.
Right.
I draw my strength from 3 powerful sources: students and colleagues, Tzu Chi wisdom, and my extremely supportive family.
Well, Joy, as a veteran teacher, you are indeed an inspiration for other educators. Thank you very much for coming on board. In our next segment, Footprints, we meet Anne Young. When Anne immigrated to the U.S., she was very homesick and missed her close family and friends. But since she began volunteering in Tzu Chi, the longing for kinship and familiarity has been fulfilled.
When I came to America to marry my husband, everyone told me that my husband was so nice and I would have a good life. Maybe the early period of my marriage was sweet. After a honeymoon stage, I felt something was missing in my heart because my family was in Taiwan. Because I married to a place so far away from them, they were also worried. When I came across Tzu Chi people, I would be so happy. When there are Tzu Chi activities and we work together, I was surprised that so many people enjoyed volunteering like me. I like to practice sign language. I'll fully understand its lyrics or sutras. Practicing sign language is also a way of self-meditation to calm my mind. After my son completed 9th grade, I sent him to Tzu Chi youth group camp. After he came back, I had felt he changed into a different person. Because my father-in-law had a stroke, he had difficulty in movement. My son told us that we would take care of him together as a family. I was so touched. He is very mature and always thoughtful. I like to visit the nursing homes. I would like to touch the faces of the elderly. In fact, I treat them like my own parents. In other words, I'll treat other elderly as my own elderly and other children as my own children. Working as a volunteer, I have learned so much more than others. In fact, my personality is the anxious and short-tempered type because some matters will make me unhappy. But I will let go of it quickly. It is wasting my life if I were unhappy for such matters. I only hope that I could be wiser day after day because I feel I am really lacking in wisdom.
Anne also believes strongly in Tzu Chi's academic curriculum because one of the life lessons that her son learned as a Tzu Chi Academy alumni is the importance of filial responsibility. I'm Ginger Chang, thank you, and I'll see you next week.